I live in a small village where everyone knows each other. I am 52 years old, turning 52 this spring. Life here flows at a steady, unchanging pace, marked by the rhythmic crowing of roosters at dawn, the rustling of leaves in the breeze, and the distant hum of tractors in the fields. Each day blends into the next, punctuated only by the small rituals of village life, gathering fresh eggs, tending to crops, and the occasional conversation with neighbors across the shared fence. My days are filled with caring for my small household, a few chickens, a vegetable garden, and a cow. It's a humble life, but it keeps me busy. A year ago, my daughter Emily gave birth to my grandson Oliver. He is such an adorable boy with bright eyes and a cheerful laugh, so much like his mother. Every visit from them brings light into my simple world. I remember one sunny day when Emily and Oliver arrived unexpectedly. Oliver ran to me, holding out his little arms, and with a cry of "Grandma," he threw himself into my arms. Emily followed him with a warm smile, carrying a basket of freshly baked bread she had prepared for me. We spent a few hours together in the garden, Oliver chasing butterflies while Emily and I talked about her plans and childhood memories. Moments like that make me feel truly alive and grateful. My husband, Matthew, is 9 years younger than me. Our story began when he came to the village after completing his military service. He was handsome, confident, and had a charm that swept him up wherever he went. All the girls in the village admired him, but to my surprise and joy, he chose me. I considered myself the luckiest woman in the world. The first days of our life together were happy, filled with dreams and plans for the future. However, reality soon took a different turn. At first, his drinking was limited to weekends and parties with friends, but gradually it turned into a daily habit. He would go to work in the morning and return in the evening drunk and without money. I put up with it, hoping for a change. First, I held on for Emily's sake, and then for little Oliver's. This summer, life took a new turn. Robert Mitchell, a widower and schoolteacher, moved into the village. He is a serious man with a quiet strength, still carrying the sadness of losing his wife. We met when he offered to help me mend the fence. Matthew never bothered to do so despite my repeated requests. Robert's presence quickly became a comfort. One afternoon, as we sat on my veranda drinking tea with raspberry jam, he spoke of his late wife, sharing memories of their deep connection. I responded by sharing my troubles, exposing parts of my heart that I hadn't shared with anyone in years. The conversation stretched into the evening, leaving me with a sense of connection I hadn't felt in a long time. From that day on, our lives became more closely intertwined. Robert would stop by to help with chores or to have tea and talk. Sometimes I would bake cakes and send him a few. Communicating with him was a balm to my weary spirit. Meanwhile, Matthew remained indifferent. His days were spent either in the store or in the company of drinking buddies. One scorching afternoon, while I was laboriously tending the vegetable garden in the relentless sun, Robert appeared. He suggested cooling off in the river behind the vegetable garden. I hesitated, feeling awkward, but his gentle insistence won me over. We found a secluded spot shaded by willows, and the cool water brought us welcome relief. As we sat on the shore, he took my hand and kissed it. My heart raced in a way it hadn't in decades. In that moment, I realized that my life had changed. Robert's kindness and consideration was a revelation to me. He is always concerned about my well-being, asking if I am tired or need anything. He gives me compliments that make me blush, brings me flowers, and treats me like someone he truly appreciates. And yet, as much as I cherish this new affection, my soul is weighed down with guilt. I am ashamed of Emily, and my conscience torments me. What will God think of me? All my life I have lived for others, forsaking my own happiness, and now for the first time I wonder if it is wrong to want more. The village has noticed this, of course. Some neighbors cast judgmental glances, while others quietly spoke words of encouragement. Recently, Emily came to visit with Oliver. Her gaze lingers on me, full of questions she hasn't voiced. Perhaps she understands more than I realize. Robert made a bold proposal yesterday. He professed his love and asked me to move in with him. His house is big and sturdy, a place where he promises we could live in peace. He dreams of raising Oliver together and building a life of love and care. His words are enticing, but fear grips me. Will I be able to start over at my age? In a village where everyone knows everyone's business, it would cause quite a stir. And then the inevitable happened. Matthew saw us. Robert and I were sitting in the garden, holding hands, lost in our own little world. Matthew didn't yell or make a scene. He simply turned and walked away, his figure receding into the distance. No one has seen him since. Now I was left with an empty chair at my desk, and a storm of thoughts in my head. Was his departure a punishment for my actions, or a blessing in disguise? Perhaps it was a sign, a push to leave the past behind and embrace the possibilities of a new life. Each evening, as the village falls silent and the stars appear in the sky, I sit and ponder. The choice before me seems insurmountable. On the one hand, there is the familiar comfort, even if it comes with pain and disappointment. On the other is a future with Robert, full of hope but clouded by uncertainty. At 52, I never imagined I would find myself at such a crossroads. And yet here I am, pondering whether to stay within the bounds of duty or take a leap of faith into the unknown.